What are the five best prop firms in the industry? That's the topic of this video. Top five prop firms for the US market. So we're talking about US friendly prop firms where US traders resident in the USA can subscribe to trade on and get payouts from. So we're going to start right directly with the number five, which will be the first one we'll check out. You might have seen on the thumbnail that's Funding Pips in the fifth position. We are at 4.4 on their Trustpilot. I'm not going to dive too much into Funding Pips, knowing I've made a video about 1 month ago reviewing this prop firm already, so I will not speak too much about it. Just a little bit of change on this prop firm. We can see they are now offering back MetaTrader 5, so you can trade on MT5 now with Funding Pips. That might be something interesting for you, even though with their current score on Trustpilot, I cannot recommend them. If you remember my tier list from January, they will still be in the B tier, being between 4.2 to 4.4 Trustpilot score. So that will be close to A list since we can see they have less than 10% one star. Actually, they are back to 10%. In my previous update, they were at 9%. So now they are at 10% to go in the A list of our tier list. You would have the prop firm would need less than 10% one star review. But at the moment, it's 10% one star review and 4.4. So if it goes back below the 10% in one star reviews and maybe above 4.4 at 4.5, we might upgrade Funding Pips to basically the A tier. At the moment, it's not the case. So the number four prop firm will be E8 Markets. That will be our fourth prop firm on these top five with 4.3 Trustpilot score, 3,000 total reviews, 9% one star reviews for this prop firm. It's a bit less than my old review 5 months ago on EA Markets. If I check back the trust score at this stage, they were at 4.7. If we check back in the 26th of September, back about 5 months ago, even 6 months ago, they were at 4.7 with only 5% one star review. Now they are at 4.3, so they've lost about 0.4 points from 4.7 to 4.3. And they also have 9% one star review. So that would be plus 100% what they previously, actually almost 100% more than what they already had, because they had 5% one star. Now they have 9%. Being below 4.4, we can now down categorize EA Markets to the B tier, being very close to the 10% and being less than 4.5 on the Trustpilot score. So we would categorize them in the same B tier than Funding Pips actually. So that would be still maybe interesting for traders looking at futures, even though that wouldn't be my recommendation, but that's the new thing, if I can say. They're offering futures. I'm not going to dive too much into the products. I've done a video 5 months ago on EA Markets, and it's almost the same kind of challenges you can buy there. So I'm not going to dive deeper into this, but basically they are offering, that's a new thing that I didn't cover 5 months ago, but it's almost the same parameter here. that you will see than what we've seen in previous video. But knowing it's not what I would recommend because it's still the B list for us, I wouldn't recommend any trader or investor to go in the B list. We should have a look to actually the three prop firms. I would recommend the best three. So you've seen on the thumbnail top step, we're gonna see the number two and the top one at the end, all US friendly, of course, for USA residents. So the top step would be number three with 4.5 Trustpilot score and 7% one-star review. This company is pretty reliable and has been in the game since 2012. So it's more 2012. It's been about 13 years. They are in the industry. They are quite the oldest in the industry. They are very reliable, like I've mentioned. So if you want to check their offer, it's pretty standard. You have 50K, 100K, and 150K. These are futures program, which is quite interesting, this kind of prop firm as well. And if you are struggling yourself to get funded on Top Step, for example, you can, with our program, get challenges risk-free. So that's basically getting funded without paying it. It sounds crazy, but it's actually possible with putting a bit of working capital that you get back for sure, thanks to our strategy. If you want to know more about this, you can check my other videos or directly book a call with me with the link in the description to discuss this further, potentially make a blueprint that you would take out. If we don't go further after this call, you would take out this blueprint for yourself, or maybe potentially work further together. If you're interested, check the link in the description. So the number two prop firm would be My Funded Futures, which is a very interesting prop firm, 4.8 Trustpilot score and only 4% one-star review. So they're basically from My Funded FX, which is another prop firm, but it's been basically created outside of it. So it's not the same prop firm. And this branch, if I can say, My Funded Futures, has been going very well. As you can see, 4.8 Trustpilot score and only 4% one-star review. The kind of challenges as well you get on My Funded Futures might be more interesting than what you can get on Top Step, because we've seen only $50 for the 50K challenge on Top Step. But what you need to know is that you have to pay an activation fee on Top Step, which is $150, as you might be familiar with. So at the end, the cost of the 50K is more $200 than $50 on Top Step. While on My Funded Futures, you don't have any activation fee. As you can see here, activation fee, there is a cross, and you have basically the same parameters as on Top Step with $2,000 maximum drawdown and a cost of 127, which is at the end $70 less than the $200 you have to pay on Top Step. The consistency on these challenge is supposed to be 50% of what you of your profits per day. So during the challenge phase, you shouldn't do more than 50% of the $3,000 profit target. And that's something that I don't know exactly where it is detailed. I should find it out, but they changed their dashboard a bit. And as you can see, well, on the Starter Plus, you have consistency here. And if we check, it may be in the FAQ quickly on the Starter Plus, I'm pretty sure these 50% consistency rule in the evaluation only. Yeah, as you can see here. So those are the parameters: no consistency once funded, and daily loss limit removed in the evaluation and funded stages. So that's a very interesting program. That's the one I would recommend on my funded futures, the Starter Plus, which is the best one. Basically, you have this 50% consistency rule only in the valuation phase, and once funded, it's removed. So that's quite interesting. Knowing on my funded futures, you have some limitation on the payouts, where you will only be able to withdraw 1,200 for the 50K per payout. For example, if you make, I don't know, if you have a balance of 2,000 plus $2,000 on the 50K, you will only be able to withdraw $1,200 max payout after 5 winning days. That's 2,400 for the 100K and 3,600 for the 150K. But what's interesting on my funded futures is that you can withdraw all your profits, even though you are limited technically here. It's not like you're receiving 50% of the profits like on Top Step. On Top Step, for example, you can only request 50% of your profits. Uh, Here, it might be actually less than 50% of your profits if you made, for example, 3K, but you can withdraw everything on the long term, if I can say here, while on Top Step, you always be limited with 50% of the profits and 5K max payout. So both are interesting. I would actually recommend both companies if you're interested. So that's Top Step number 3. And we have My Funded Futures, that is number 2. Finally, we're going to talk about the top one prop firm I would recommend for US traders, which is Funded Trading Plus. Very interesting company. They have a different kind of challenges that are kind of 5 types of challenges. You can see that's the experienced trader program, and we're going to check the other kind of challenges before diving in. But you have the experienced program, you have another type of program, as you can see here, that is the two-phase prestige, premium, advanced, and you also have instant no evaluation. That's the master program. So if we talk a bit more about the experience program, the characteristic of this program is that the drawdown will be relative. So that's not the very interesting thing about Funded Trading Plus. The very interesting thing, and let me directly jump into it, it's their prestige program. So they now have a two-phase prestige program here, as you can see, and they are offering a static drawdown. So the drawdown type for this evaluation is static. This means your drawdown amount is fixed to your starting balance throughout all stages. Unlike with relative drawdown, this figure does not trade up as you make simulated profit on your account. So that's the same kind of drawdown you will find on FTMO. Basically, they've updated their terms pretty recently. It was not here before with Funded Trading Plus, but the possibility of doing challenges that are with static drawdown directly put them in the first position for US friendly traders. Before we've mentioned E8 markets, but now looking at their Trustpilot score, they are way below Funded Trading Plus, especially knowing they are offering static challenges for a bit less than $580. We can check if they offer refund on the on the um, on the challenge, and maybe that's like E8 they are where they are not offering a refund on the challenge. but if I remember correctly, they will basically refund the challenge fee. So let me check here. Maybe that's not sure. Do funded traders have contract? Where can I have the how many accounts? So you can get up to $200,000 and not one merge for 400 400,000 is the maximum funding on funded trading plus. So that will be what you need to know. And about the refund of the challenge fee, maybe it's in the details of the programs. Let me check if it's written down there. Usually it's written down there. If they refund, yeah, here, no, not refundable. So it's like that's what I thought. The refund at 10%. Actually, oh yeah, it is refundable. So you get back your challenge fee at 10% when you reach plus 10% simulated profits on the funded stage. So once you made 10K, you get back your $600 plus your payout. That would be the payouts. The payout is the payout profit splits. Let's check to be sure it's 80-20, then 90-10 at 20%. So when you are a trader, you make 20% simulated profits. You can request to be upgraded to 90-10 simulated profit. You can then request to move to 100% once you reach 30% of simulated profit. So that could be quite interesting, actually. So that's why I will rank funded trading plus in top one for US traders, USA residents that want to trade with a US friendly prop firm. They want to choose funded trading plus. As I've said, 4.7 trust Biden score with only 2%. And if you are more into the futures, you might want to check my funded futures and Top Step. Then for funded pips and E8 markets, I would not really recommend those company. Once again, if you want help passing those prop firm challenges, if you are a trader that you want help, you want to be hands-on the process, so that would be Active Income. We offer programs that are one-to-one coaching programs to get risk-free accounts. So we coach you to get accounts for free. That's quite interesting. And for investors looking for passive incomes, which is more hands-off passive income solution, like I've mentioned, you can check the link in the description. Book a call with me. We draft a blueprint together. If you're interested, we can work together. If not, you walk back with the blueprint for yourself. Check the link in the description. Book a call with me. That would be a pleasure to discuss this further with you. Other than that, we've seen the top 5 prop firms for the US. Let's just remind the top one was Funded Trading Plus. That's the main prop firm I would recommend. And if you want more to trade on futures or combined prop firms, I would also recommend my funded futures and Top Step. So top one, Funded Trading Plus, my funded futures number 2, and Top Step number 3. That was all for this video. We'll speak again in the next one.